Okay, so we're going to talk about web accessibility and whether or not your website is ADA compliant. Now, this definitely something that you want to get in front of. It's something that's becoming a bigger and bigger topic as the years have gone by recently. And basically, what we're going to dig into is what exactly web accessibility is, what the ADA is, how to make sure your website's compliant, and how taking the necessary actions to do that can help save you a ton of money and protect your business. So, basically, what is the ADA? What is web accessibility? Now, the ADA stands for the Americans with Disabilities Act, and this has been around a while, but basically, this act prohibits discrimination against people with long-term disabilities in places of public accommodation. So that's hotels, restaurants, movie theaters, stores, anything like that. Um, but basically, this also applies to the digital world, the internet. So basically, a lot of people have begun filing lawsuits on businesses claiming that websites should also be considered public accommodations and comply with the ADA. So today, ADA web-based lawsuits are on a big rise, over 200%, passing 150,000 demand letters last year alone. So they're hitting all types of businesses. That could be a local restaurant, an e-commerce store. One of the biggest cases was Domino's. They had a big issue with that, and there's some other big names out there that have come across these lawsuits as well. But that's another reason why you want to be covered, and we'll dig into that a little bit more. Now, how do you make a website accessible? Well, there's certain guidelines that we want to basically adhere by. And below here, you're seeing basically the four essential principles. So you want to make sure that your website presents information in a way that can be observed by all people, regardless of what their disability is. So for someone who is colorblind, there needs to be a certain threshold of contrast between the foreground and background of text so that they can see it properly. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to read. You also want to make sure that all functions of your website can be used. This is especially particular to people with motor disabilities. If they have certain impairments, they should be able to use the keyboard without relying on a mouse, so they should be able to navigate your website and not have to use a mouse for certain things. You also want to make sure that your website is very clear and has simple instructions, and people can understand the content that is posted on your website and how to navigate it. And then you also want to make sure that it's compatible with various assistive technologies such as screen readers that blind people in particular use to navigate websites. Basically, your website, people should be able to, access your website regardless of what their disability might be. That could be changing the size or the font of the text, the color, things like that make them just as able to use a website as someone that doesn't have that particular disability. Now, why would you want to make your website compliant? Well, there's actually a huge tax credit to taking advantage of making your website 100% compliant. So I'll dig into the next slide, but you could save a lot of money on your website and digital marketing by taking these necessary actions. Now, aside from that, this is also going to increase your audience. 20% of all Americans have some form of long-term disability. So you could be missing out on 20% of your total market share. So imagine just cutting that entirely. What if you can add that to your current business? People still, they need to live every day. They come across those same, common issues or things around the house, or everybody goes out to eat, things like that. So you definitely you don't want to cut those people out. Now, at the same time, making your website compliant is going to improve your SEO. So screen readers actually crawl your site just the same way Google does. So as you build your website to be used by screen readers, that is going to help your search engine optimization and help you rank better in Google searches. So being that now Google is making the user experience a ranking factor, compliance makes that site easier to navigate. And when you have easier navigation, that's going to equal more leads and better SEO for you. So as you climb the rankings and get to page one, top of page one, whatever it is, more people are going to find your website. You're going to be more visible in Google search engine. And that's going to just send you more traffic and more opportunities to close new business. And then the very last one you definitely don't want a lawsuit on your hands. So, being that now that this is law to basically to have a compliant site, you want to be able to protect your business and grow your customer base. So those kind of work hand in hand. And how that works with us, well, we make sure all of our websites are built properly, they're accessible to everyone, and they comply with the ADA. And like we said, by doing that, the government is going to offer an accessibility tax credit for eligible businesses that invest in making their website more accessible. Now, if you meet the eligibility requirements, which is you have either less than 30 full-time employees or you are less than 1 million in revenue per year, the government will give you a tax credit for half of what you spend for the year. After you spend $250, anything you spend on that afterwards, you're eligible for half of what you spent. So that's up to $10,000. So if you spent $10,250 in, over the course of the year on your website and digital marketing, you would receive a $5,000 tax credit at the end of the year coming back to you. So if you're going to spend money on building a website, SEO, and other digital marketing, you want to make sure you might as well have the government pay for some of that, or at least most of it. So I wanted to provide some quick information that you could use that would be helpful to you guys and help better set you up for the rest of the year to come. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about how you can make this happen, help you save time, money, and protect your business, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email at info@primedigitalseo.com. This is Mike Amatuli from Prime Digital. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope to hear from you soon. Take care.